That's good, son. Well, the pain I feel in my knees, that's good. Yeah, that means you're growing.
Okay, so you're saying the growing pains.
The growing pains. Now,
now
there's a difference when you swell. You go to the doctor and you done bumped your knee and it swells up, gets bigger.
Okay.
It's a type of growth. It gets bigger.
But that's from trauma.
That's from trauma.
Now, but sometimes it takes a traumatic experience to change a person's or adjust a person's approach and behavior to things. But
what happens when you go to the doctor and you have that infection? What does the doctor have to do? He has to give you
diagnosis.
He has to give you some penicillin, some antibiotics, and different things to take the swelling out. Because you're infected, and if you don't get the swelling out, get the infection out of your blood, then it starts going through your. So bump it.
So that's before the healing.
That's before the healing. So when you just bump your knee and it swell up, and you don't take care of that swelling, that infection gets in your blood and goes all through your body. And the next thing you know, it used to be just the knee that was hurt. Now you got an infection that may be in your neck, in your mind, and your whole body's infected now. So you can't operate in your power because your body's infected. Now what happens is we can get used to the dysfunction of the infection. And some people, just like people who live with hypertension and diabetes, they learn how to live sick. Think about this.
Used to the dysfunction. They're comfortable in the dysfunction.
Do you understand that when we go to the doctor, that most of the time we go to the doctor, they're not, and you have hypertension and diabetes, they're not trying to cure you. They tell you to manage it. That's some messed up way of thinking.
Yeah, that's a different...
But when you
that's business though.
But so we have to decide.
Oh, the business of managing the pain is what we done adopted.
Absolutely. And guess what happens? We start living our life that way. We start living our life.
So we never remedied it. We never fixed the issue.
Never.
And that goes back to this is just how I am or what it is.
That's why it's called a generational curse.
Okay.
Because that mama who grew up getting food stamps, living in Section 8 housing, she puts that mindset
in the
kids. So the kids grow up just understanding how to get by. It ain't never about thriving, it's about surviving. So we teach our kids how to survive instead of thrive.
And then that way when we have a conversation with them about elevating, they fighting for their limitations.
It don't even make
it don't even because I can't because these bills are due, and I can't because you can put a plan or a situation together that'll elevate your life, but they don't have time because they're so used to dealing and living in the dysfunction, operating in dysfunction
because they just operating in what they've seen. There's research that says the first 7 years, it takes 7 years to get somebody's mind programmed. So by 7, most people are already thinking the way they're going to be as adults,
and the way their parents.
That's right.
And that's why the church say, "Give me the child for the first 7 years."
That's right. So somebody will say, well, Steve, so how do we change that behavior, right? So here's how we change. This is what we do in Making of Men.
Okay.
It's about reprogramming. Okay. And reprogramming is about repetition. So that means the more I do something. So we're not talking about reading and learning.
Right.
There's a difference.
Because there's no application in that. You just
we're talking about repetition that changes habits. How do you change a habit? Repetition. Just keep doing it over. So that means if I keep saying to that kid, man, you great. Right. Hey, man, you great.
Right.
Hey, man, you a leader.
Right.
Man, you are a great leader.
It opposed to, she just so bad.
That's
he
right.
just so bad. He just bad.
That's right.
I always have to say, why are you telling that baby?
That's right. That's right. You know how many parents I've sat with in counseling sessions and they'll say to me, I just want him to graduate high school. I just want him to get a job.
That's it.
And that's all he'll do the rest of his life.
Because our parents' words become our affirmations.
That's it. And that's the reason why so many parents. Let me tell you why this is so hard for us to change in our culture, because that means we have to say to mama and grandma, "You did it wrong."
Oh, woo. And we gotta respect our elders. So in that repetition, you change the affirmation and the narrative.
That's right.
For your life.
For your life. So how do we change the generational poverty? That's how we change it. So that means that I have to now not do what my mother, and look, my mama loved me.
Right.
She just did what she knew how to do because that's what was done to her.
And that was the education they had.
That's the education they had.
Right.
So now it's my responsibility as a father now to come along and build my children and say, this is not about you just graduating high school. Baby boy, I want you to graduate college. This is not about you getting a job.
It's about you.
I want you to have a career.
Or a business.
I want you to own it.
Right.
So it's a mindset. And see, we don't do that in our community.
We don't know to do that. Because we was taught the same narrative, passed down generations.
That's right.
Like you just said.
And I think some of that has to do with we don't think we deserve it. You know how long I didn't think I was worthy for people to call me great? You know how long I walked around questioning my worthiness, which kept me from elevating to the next level?
You know that's church too. Because what are they saying? God, I'm not worthy.
I'm not
How's
worthy.
you a king and we
right.
kings and queens and deserving, but we saying that we're not worthy? Where did we get that from?
So let me tell you how it didn't jive for me.
Right.
When I really started studying and understanding scripture, and scripture said I'm created in his image.
Which is,
I said, how the heck can I be created in his image and be great and not be worthy?
think about it.